this is like the biggest show I'll play. And I'm like, man, like you could play this. And he goes, I'm like, well, we'll see tonight. Anyway, yeah. Last show in Australia, and I'm really excited to play tonight because I remember last time I was here being an amazing show. So thank you guys for coming. I love Australians. Yeah. I do really like Australians. They're just such cool people. I really do. You should know that. If I had to be reborn, it'd be a battle between being British and Australian. I'm unsure who would win, but one of the two. Anyway, you guys want to ask me some questions? What's your question?
When you like go to where you live after a show, what do you like to do?
When I go to where I live after I dig a hole and I get like after I get off stage,
Yeah.
I go to bed. Most likely I have another show the next day. Just say pretty much get into a car and go to bed. I'll watch an episode of Peaky Blinders and go to bed. What's your question?
I like your nails.
Thanks. They're really messed up from playing guitar.
Yeah, I'm Penny. I really love you.
I like that your sunglasses are matching your eye shadow.
I was gonna say, my question is, so since Halloween was last week, sorry, I'm like so nervous.
It's okay.
Since Halloween was last week, sorry. What is your best and your worst Halloween memory of your childhood?
My parents' anniversary is on Halloween.
Oh!
That's why I love it so much, because it was always such a big deal when I was a kid growing up. So my dad and I would basically, like 2 weeks before Halloween, we would be in my garage creating this plan of how we're going to decorate the house and the outside of the house. And then we would eventually, I'd come home from school early and we'd start setting up the house for the trick-or-treaters. And basically my mom and dad would invite all their friends and family over. My mom would make chili for everyone, and like it was just always, Halloween has always been my favorite memory of the whole year.
So you don't have any bad?
No, never. I mean, Halloween is literally my favorite holiday ever. Yeah. What's your question? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Blossom. Firstly, I want to say I'm
Beautiful
so
name.
proud. Firstly, I just want to say I'm so proud of you. Second, I just want to ask what's your favorite flower and like what's the color of it? Besides the color of that flower,
I really love blue orchids because they're my mom's favorite, but I love, I think lilies are really pretty too.
what color of it?
I don't know. I'm honestly, actually, I think honestly my favorite flower, just cause, and it sounds so basic, is a rose, but I actually think it's the most beautiful. Genuinely. What's your question?
Oh my god! First of all, I really love you. I'm
Real
Mason.
friendship right
Hi, sorry.
I know too.
What's your favorite memory of Taylor Swift, and do you have any plans to collaborate with her anytime soon?
Taylor Swift, I would love to collaborate with her soon. My favorite memory. I think it was like, I mean, actually, it's hard for me to know my favorite memory, but I remember after being on tour with Taylor. When she asked me to come play with her at the Rose Bowl in LA, I remember because that whole tour, whenever Taylor walked around me, my face got red and I was shaking. And when I got to the Rose Bowl, the whole morning I was so nervous, and then I got there to the stadium and I was on stage like practicing, and when she got on stage, I felt myself like not be nervous, and then I was like, oh, this is my friend. And then we just like talked for a minute, and like it was like the first time I felt like I was talking to Taylor as like a friend and not like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm standing next to Taylor Swift. And it was like a really beautiful moment. I'll always remember that. For me personally, she was probably just like being Taylor Swift. For me, I was going through a whole thing. What's your question? Yeah.
My mom has a good question.
All right. Cool.
Sorry, I've got a really grandma question.
Okay. Or mom question.
Mum question. With all the tour dates that you've done,
Yes.
what steps are you taking to preserve hearing health? Because you don't want to end up like me.
I got ears. The things I wear every night.
Yeah,
That's all I can do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Be careful.
I promise. What's your question?
Oh my god.
So what is the dumbest way you've like injured yourself or hurt yourself?
Do you even know who I am? Have you not seen the video compilations? Of like, I probably have the record of the top 5 dumbest ways you can injure yourself. When I was a kid, I genuinely would injure myself doing the most stupid things you could think of. I broke my wrist on an elliptical. Do you know what elliptical is? It's like the thing you get on in the gym. And I was in. First of all, we were watching a movie, and I was going slow. Somehow, I managed to like bring my wrist in between the elliptical. Pretty much any injury I've ever had has been done. What's your question?
If you could taste a color, what color would you taste?
I would taste orange.
Well.
Yeah.
You write a lot of like songs that surround the topic of love. How do you know when you're in love?
How do you know when you're in love with someone? When I'm in love with someone. It's like it's not like anxious. It's not exciting. It's actually terrifying. It's terrifying because when you fall in love with someone, they now have this power, you know, and you're like, I think I would die if I lost you. And I think, and I know it sounds so mushy, but it genuinely is the truth. When you feel big true love, you genuinely are so scared. You're like it's a really terrifying feeling, and it's the most magical feeling in the world when the person reciprocates it. But until that moment of knowing whether or not they feel it back for you, you're like, honestly, at any moment I could black out. This is the scariest thing in the world. But yeah, is that an okay answer? Okay, cool. What's your question?
Oh my god!
I'm Izzy, and I love you a lot, but I know my sister's a bigger fan, and I must ask you.
Izzy, your sweet sister. You're right, she is a bigger fan. It's okay.
Wait, let me record that. Okay.
So it was my birthday a couple of days ago.
Happy late birthday.
And I was wondering, what was your favourite birthday memory that you've had? And what was your least favourite?
I don't know my least favorite. I'm lucky. I haven't had many bad birthdays. But I mean, my 21st birthday was pretty insane. Kind of like a movie. What's your question? In the way back? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're someone that's very involved in making their own music.
it's true.
So what do you find it easier, sort of writing lyrics or coming up with the sort of tunes to go with them?
The melodies and the guitar parts much easier for me. The lyrics are so hard because it really forces you to like not rush it. You have to sit there and be like, how do I feel? That's hard to do. And then write it on paper is even harder. In the white,
Do you have any advice for anyone who wants to follow their dreams?
any dream,
Yeah, or someone who's particularly about like their entertainment.
like entertainment or anything. My advice is this. Coming from somebody who's successful in entertainment is I'm successful because I'm happy. I'm not successful because I have a lot of money or because I've sold a lot of, albums or tickets. I will say this, like I think something that is really misunderstood is that a lot of people will look into culture and they'll be like, okay, this is working and this is working and this is working. I'm gonna be half of this and half of this and put it together and make something. And then it doesn't work. And the thing is, even if that does work and you become very successful, you're being successful doing something and being somebody who you are not. And you'll end up being unhappy at the end of it. So the truth is that if you want real success, it's not about how much money you make or how many tickets you sell. It's about genuinely making the music that you love to make and singing the way you love to sing. Because otherwise you'll just be really unhappy with a lot of money and it's just not worth it. I promise, okay? You're welcome. What's your question?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love you so much. Just
I'll be
saying.
back.
Did he just say that? If you could say one thing to all of your fans, like what would it be? Just like anything.
I would say be kind to yourselves. What's your question? Yeah. Everyone's crying. It's the last day in Australia, right? Hi. Nice to meet you. I hope everyone cries tonight. You haven't come up with a question. It's okay. I'll love you back. You probably had more than a couple days to come up with a question. That's alright. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Wow. We related. Sweetest sounding human I've ever heard in my life. Thank you so much. I love you back, okay? I love you too. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, this might sound weird.
Probably gonna sound weird.
What cologne do you wear?
They're Gucci made to measure. Shawn, yeah.
Oh my god, hi.
Yeah.
If and when you have kids, what would you call them? Like if you had a girl and a boy.
I love the name for a boy, Cheyenne. And then you can call him Shy. That's mine. Don't take it. Answer your question? Yeah.
So I know you've been to lots of parts in Australia.
Yeah.
Apart from shows and touring and stuff like that, what has been your favourite like day off thing that you've done?
I was just in Byron Bay yesterday. We went up to the lighthouse on like the most eastern point of Australia. It was so stunning up there. My favorite for sure. What's your question? Yeah.
What was it like working with Dave Myers?
You like Dave Myers?
Yeah, I'm a massive film nerd.
Are you a huge film nerd? He is. You know why Dave is so good? Is because he plans it all before. Like I think that's the biggest thing you can be as a director is if you have everything so well planned before the music video goes. When you step in, you're just chill and you're just like, yeah, it's gonna be great. And like that makes the artist feel so comfortable and calm. And that was my favorite thing about him. He was so already planned out, you know? Yeah. What's your question? Yeah.
What better to win? My name is Steve. I just wanted to ask, you're a singer now, like with my sister, but if you weren't doing this right now, what would you be doing?
I'd still be singing because I love to sing, but I think I would probably be some sort of like I'd be studying holistic medicine and physiotherapy. I think. Yeah.
You guys, we have time for 3 more questions.
In the pink. Yeah. Film it. That's okay. That's okay. You're a beer drinker? So you asked what my favorite beer is? My favorite beer is Corona. That's my favorite question I've ever been asked. Yeah. Hi. Me too. Love you back. Oh.
Okay. So last year when you were in Sweden, I think you were at a radio show.
Yep.
And they did like a fan Q&A.
Okay.
And I asked, will you marry me?
And I said yes.
Yeah. And I was wondering when's the wedding.
I don't know. I emailed your parents. They didn't get back to me. It's hard for me to know because you're in Australia and I'm in Canada. What's your question?
Okay, I'm butthurt and you're gonna like be able to tell.
I'm your butthurt.
No, yeah, I'm really upset. How come every time you change the set, Fall and All in You gets the boot? Like in the last week, and I'm not.
Well, do you want to know something? It's really hard to play 5 shows in 6 days.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
But I have to sing them like through the mic, and everyone has to hear it. And my voice, I actually had like no voice on the 3rd show. Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
So that's why. I'm sorry.
Is it on the set?
It's on the set tonight.
Promise?
Yeah. What's your question? I love your sparkles on the head.
Hi, I'm Eloise.
Eloise, hi.
And I just want to say hello.
I love you back.
And my question for you is, I know being a celebrity can be hard and go through tough times. So what's your advice to us when we feel like
It's no different than what I feel. I think like humans are always going through this. Like there's no human who that is just like, even if you look at somebody who you think is like The Rock, like Dwayne Johnson, like, he's here, but I'm sure he's doing this at all times because we're all humans, and celebrity or not, it's really, really hard. But I think, you know, the darkest moment is really just before the brightest moment in your life. And that's something I always live by, is like when I'm like exhausted and I'm like feeling like, oh my god, this can't get worse, it's like the next day is my happiest day in months. And it's always, they're so close to each other, so just keep that in mind, okay? I love you guys. Have fun tonight, okay?
I love you!